So as you guys all know, Riot recently said that they are working on League of Legends next. Or, proverbially put, colloquially put, League of Legends 2. Right here we can see Necrit's face, the clickbait 2 with the exclamation, not exclamation mark, with the asterisks. League is changing forever. So let's dive into it and see what my boy Necrit has to say.
Did this really happen? So, completely out of nowhere, Riot just dropped the biggest announcement in League's history. In fact,
It unironically is the biggest announcement. A lot of people, people might not realize this, but League has been slowly losing players. I know, 200 million monthly unique gamers. And it's losing a couple million a year. But for a game like League, they have to keep growing. And nobody, and I mean this, nobody and then no one's family is launching League of Legends. I haven't seen a genuine new League play in 4 years. No one that's new is coming here going, you know what game I should play? League of Legends. The client's dog shit, the matchmaking's dog shit, the UI's dog shit, the systems, everything about League is dog shit. I'm addicted, I play it every day. But there's so much wrong with League that they finally went and pulled the plug and they said, we're doing League 2. They're pulling an Overwatch 2.
if I think about it, I can't even think of anything bigger that could be announced. And as to why things were announced right now? Well, I had to ask around, and the likely reason sounds stupidly hilarious. We'll get into the details of the announcement itself in a moment. But totally randomly, Riot just dropped a piece of a dev video. It was confirmed that this was a piece of the dev post that would be out after the winter break was over, after which Meddler then gave us a bit of a context for this video, and there he mentioned that there were some early speculations, and so he just wanted to let people know what was really happening. But again, we still had no idea what kind of speculations he was talking about, and that's because I don't think there were any speculations. It turns out, someone from Bloomberg, where it doesn't even seem like it was an official interview, someone just talked to a writer, where the entire article is almost written from the perspective of a casual conversation, and the...
So, it's a leak, because if somebody just mentioned it casually, Bloomberg said they're gonna remake the game, right? Just decided to fucking drop it completely. Honestly, gaming secrets don't get kept well anymore. Unless you're goddamn GTA or Classic Plus or the Riot MMO, can people leak some shit that I care about? I'm gonna play shit at League 2, don't get me wrong. But can we leak some of the bigger games? BioShock 4. How about we get some leaks on if Mass Effect 5 is gonna be good? How about some leaks on The Witcher 4, The Witcher 1 remake? Or the KOTOR 1 remake? Or FOTOR, or any of these games? It's always League of Legends, new champion league. God damn it.
The way it was written makes it obvious that whoever wrote this had no idea how League even works. After which, because this was likely a casual conversation, there were no embargoes. And they decided to publish this article a day after everyone at Riot went on a holiday break. My favorite line in this article is: the game's visual aesthetic, including characters, the user interface, and battle arenas, will be reimagined. Yes, all the players know these as characters and battle arenas. Anyway, because of this major fumble, Riot had to step in and let everyone know what might actually happen officially. And again, they had to step in during their Christmas break. And so they quickly edited together a piece of a dev video that was already in the works to clarify everything. As a fun fact, if you have a look at the background, you can even see some blurred images, because this was supposed to come out a lot later while they are teasing other things. And so, this edited piece of a dev video starts with Pabro and Meddler, where they immediately start talking about what is coming to League after 2026. In other words, we are talking about things that will arrive in League in more than a year from now. And immediately, Pablo tackles a question that the majority of the League players asked at least once. Will there ever be League of Legends 2? After which...
And the answer is going to be no. Because just like World of Warcraft will never have a WoW 2, and they'll keep reinventing or fixing or tweaking the game, League 2 would kill the game more than it would help make the game thrive. You can call it League of Legends 2, where everyone's progress carries on, but making a completely separate League 2 would kill everything. Sequels for games this large, that are multiplayer online games, that are mostly based on online activity, almost never work in the long term.
His answer was no. At least for the foreseeable future, they don't plan on releasing League of Legends 2. However, let me tell you from what you are about to hear, it almost feels like we are getting League of Legends 2 without calling it a League of Legends 2. It's kinda like the reverse of what happened with Overwatch, which should be good news. Anyway, then Pablo continues that all the updates so far happened through game modes, champion updates, and balancing. However, these changes can only push the game so far. And so Madler adds in that after 2026, League is gonna get a lot more. Riot is not ready to show us the progress just yet, but
This legit sounds like every single blue post that Agron does. Guys, wait. I promise it's gonna be worth it. But wait and believe. We have so much to share, but you have to wait. The Riot MMO is thriving, by the way. Legit, the Riot MMO is doing amazing. They're really excited about the Riot MMO, but that's not even close to being ready. We're getting League 2 in 2027, Riot MMO in 2029, very, very late 2028. I don't think it's going to be before that at all.
It did confirm that at this point, the vast majority of the League of Legends team is working on all the new features. This is a big deal because it makes me wonder if the changes to 2026 are gonna be as big, if not perhaps lesser than the changes in 2025. I'm talking about the updated Summoner's Rift, ARM updates and stuff like that. To me, it seems more likely like 2026 is gonna be more calm because 2027 is gonna be the big one. Keep in mind that this is just me guessing. There is a good chance Riot figured out the workflow, and so 2026 will be pretty much the same as 2025, just new seasons. But regardless of what really happens, Madler immediately made sure that we know it is gonna be worth it. Because the first thing the team is working on is a new in-engine client.
So for those of you that aren't aware, League has 3 separate clients. So for example, you know how when it comes to games like League of Legends, you pick your champion? Your champion, like, only those champions load into the game. So nothing else is loading. So you have all the assets in a separate fucking client, and then they boot up your client, and only the things in that client that you booted up are pulled from, like, only those champs are pulled from the game into your client. It is the most spaghetti bullshit known to mankind. It plays in the same way that the Warcraft 3 MOBA, like the Warcraft 3 Dota custom maps work. That's why it's such a janky, shitty client. That's why it breaks and shits itself so often. That's why sometimes you can't reconnect. That's why sometimes there's bugs that have been around for 10 fucking years. They can't fix the spaghetti code of the client because the client is just cooked. And I am so thankful that they're fixing the client after what? League came out in 2009? 2011, I think, was the official launch date. 14 years? No, wait, 17 years almost. 17 years for them to fix this god-awful garbage client.
That's right, after 16 years, Riot is finally moving away from the archaic move to give League its own separate client. And instead, League will get the Valorant treatment, or the 2xKO treatment, or the treatment that any modern game simply gets these days. In other words, when you launch League of Legends, you will get into a full-on app. And it will be in that app that you can simply start the game. Which already brings up some really interesting questions.
See, look at this. I see this on screen, and it makes me happy. Because this is what we should be having already. I have been playing League of Legends for give or take 2011. I played the alpha, and I played 2011. I played season 2. I've been playing for so long. Holy shit, I've been playing so long. And now here we are, and I'm just thinking to myself, damn. Damn. I can't believe I've gaslit myself into playing League of Legends for 17 years. I'm not even happy playing League of Legends. Why the fuck am I excited for this? Legit, I'm getting griefed in D2 and D1 games. I'm getting griefed by subhuman animals in my League of Legends games, and I'm over here like, guys, I can't wait for League of Legends 2. I'm gonna be getting griefed in high quality. It's not even getting griefed in a good way. I'm just getting griefed in higher fidelity gameplay. Now the griefing brought to you smoothly.
In something like Fortnite, for example, when you launch the game, it essentially loads up Unreal Engine. And it is part of that preload that launches the game when you try to play it. But in League of Legends, it seems like we will still have two separate things under the hood. You see, the concern is that League's client might be moved into something new, such as Unreal Engine. Let's just pretend this is the case for the moment, because Riot is using Unreal Engine for a lot of things. Well, if they take this approach, you launch Unreal Engine, you get into the menus, and then when you click play, you would launch a separate engine for the League gameplay. This is what really makes you wonder just how worth it can it be to have a full client then. Is it even possible to make it efficient? Well, Medler did know there would be some confusion about this, and so on Reddit he did clarify this. He confirmed that the entire gameplay engine for League of Legends will get updated, which is already incredible news on its own. I mean, the engine did get updated throughout the years, kinda slowly, but now it seems like a more broad update to the entire system. And apparently, Riot wants to move the client directly into that. This is...
I hope to God this works. I'ma be real. After the Overwatch 2 shenanigans, CSGO 2 wasn't too bad, honestly. Riot's been decent. I hope this pans out and this actually works really well, because I am personally excited to see how this actually ends up working, how this actually ends up being. So we'll see what ends up happening, but you know what? I'm excited. I'm addicted to the League. I can't quit. I'm addicted to League of Legends and World of Warcraft. I'm addicted to two of the most addicting games on this goddamn planet, and my time is spent 50-50. It's like your mom and dad abusing each other, and you go from one abusive household to another abusive household. Like your dad beats you, and your mom emotionally abuses you. League of Legends versus World of Warcraft.
interesting because Riot is essentially porting the client into the League spaghetti engine, which means I just hope the update is really good. Because while it will be very difficult to do a move like this without a pre-made engine that most engineers understand, the result should still be that Riot can do a lot of cool things directly in the client. One of which could be, potentially, believe it or not, previewing skins. Though I don't know if they want to go the Wild Rift path.
Holy shit, that's another thing I completely forgot about. You can't preview skins in League of Legends. You legit can't look at the skins and how they play and operate. Legit, you have to go to a channel called Skin Spotlight where they just murder Katarina for 10 minutes. For every time there's a new skin. That's how Riot lets people test and see their skins. Some guy gets every skin, tests every single skin by murdering Katarina with the new abilities and how they look. And that's the go-to.
Of faking the high definition because the in-game models are not that great. Anyway, the cool thing is that all of this is still just the first update the entire League team is working on. Because on top of essentially announcing League of Legends 2 with a brand new client, they did also announce a complete overhaul of the Summoner's Rift visuals. Now this makes me wonder, just how big of an update are we talking about? Because the reskins we got in the new seasons were already pretty good. I like the new versions of the Noxian map or the Spirit Blossom map. So are we talking about a graphical redefining of the game? As in, Summoner's Rift will be more cartoony to be more in line with the modern League of Legends style? Or are we talking about modernizing the feel of Summoner's Rift? I mean, what if Summoner's Rift is finally gonna be treated as a canonical place? And what if, instead of fighting red versus blue, it is gonna be something like Noxus versus Demacia? Any one of these options would be cool. Though remember that they did mention that this is a complete visual overhaul, but there will also be some gameplay changes.
So I think overall, they're just trying to modernize their game client to make it a better experience for everyone involved. Because the number one complaint for every League player is like just the game client lagging you out, the game client bugging, not being able to click your champion, not being able to role swap, your runes getting bugged out, clicking the wrong champion by accident. It's all client bugs. Everyone is always just mad at the client. So fixing the client, for the most part, should make League better. The other bug I hope they fix is the game randomly freezing. You having to alt-tab out of League and then re-tab back into League so the game stops freezing. Like, there's so many bugs. Like, holy shit, guys. Please. Please. I'm addicted. I can't quit, but fix your fucking game.
To the update. So I'm gonna assume there's gonna be a new season on top of this, and there's gonna be some gameplay stuff tied to the theme. But after this, Meddler also mentioned that there will be more changes to runes and pre-game decisions. From what I know, it is the runes and the summoner spells that scare new players from getting into League. Usually they have no idea what summoner spells are good, and they are afraid that if they pick the wrong runes, not only will they be worse in the game, but people will also utilize their skills called toxicity towards them. Which, let's be honest, that is exactly what happens. So there is a good chance that a lot of these choices will be either streamlined or removed. Because not having to choose your runes in something like Arena or Brawl completely works. Connected to this, Pabro also mentioned one more thing. Apparently, they are also overhauling the new player experience.
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work out. I'ma be real, WoW's tutorial, they've reworked WoW's tutorial, 6 times so far since 2008? And no matter what they've done, the tutorial has been dog shit. There is no good tutorial to playing WoW. And League's tutorial, I tried to get my wife to play League with me a few times. There's no universe. There's no fucking universe in which you're able to just fucking play the tutorial. The tutorial is dog water. It is the most ass thing I've played. The tutorial teaches you fuck all. It's the most slow, boring, uninteresting tutorial ever fucking made. So when at the end of the day, when it comes to League of Legends, I hope the new player experience is better. But anytime I've met a new person that's played League of Legends, they've just gotten mad because they get put against like a level 30 fresh account that curb stomps them into oblivion. That's not a new player. The amount of smurfs just make the game unfun. Like, imagine logging into WoW and there's a level 60 rogue right there ready to gank you. Just get good, kid. This is what PvP is really like. That's League of Legends tutorial.
Which should be one of the most important things here. Because we all know that, like it or not, the League of Legends audience is aging. And in order for Riot to truly make this a multi-generational game that lives on, they need new players. And right now, League is kinda notorious for being difficult to get into. So whatever Riot is trying, it better be good. From what I've heard, a lot of the newer players around League of Legends really liked Brawl. And the moment Brawl went away, a lot of the new players did too. So I wonder if something more is gonna be happening there. I mean, we all remember how many players arrived in League after Arcane, and then everyone hated it and left. And with that context, it now completely makes sense why Riot is focusing in that area. Now, for the most part, that is it for the updates that Riot is planning. Meddler then mentioned that we will learn more about these between the MSI and the Worlds of 2026. Up until then, the normal dev updates will still continue. So he's kinda making sure that we know that 2026 is still gonna be good. And while that is pretty much where the video ends, Meddler still gave us more context on social media. So, in summary, there is gonna be a brand new in-engine client. There is gonna be a full visual overhaul of Summoner's Rift. There is
The visual overhaul is something I'm looking forward to, because you got Shaco, who came out in 2009, and Shaco looks like he was drawn by somebody's left fucking butt cheek. Drunk out of their fucking mind. Shaco's got the same amount of polygons as Lux's left tit. Like, Shaco is like the most forgotten fucking champion. Brother is a smudge in the history of fucking League. So I hope the full visual overhaul also is a visual overhaul of champions, their story, their modernization. I hope this full experience updates like 8, 10, 15 of the old champions and brings them up to speed with the modern dynamic. Because some champs are just old as fuck.
There's gonna be smaller gameplay changes tied to the update, so think something like objectives. There will be changes to runes and pre-game decisions. There is gonna be improvement for the new player experience, after which he also adds in one more thing. This work is part of our effort to refocus on what we believe matters most to you. Over the past year, we hope you've been feeling this in the changes we've been making. This next phase builds on that momentum and lays the groundwork for League's next era. We'll share some more details with you next year, sometime between MSI and Worlds, including approximately when in 2027 we're aiming to have these updates land. Your passion, feedback and memes continue to shape League, and we appreciate you being on the journey with us. Happy New Year everyone, and see you on the Rift this.
We could only pray that we got this shit in Classic WoW, because the Classic audience, like in League, none of the League players are going, you know, kill Riot Meddler, go assault him, you know, I hope you KYS. No one's, I mean, I'm sure some people are. But for the most part, the average League player is like, oh, W Riot, W August, W this, W that. They actually like their devs. The Classic player base, even in my chat, the amount of fuck Agrand, fuck the devs, fuck this, fuck that, terrible this, terrible that, like, goddamn, man. We could get communication like this if we would stop insulting and attacking the devs to the fullest capability of your passion. If y'all redirected your passion of negativity towards something else instead of the devs personally, say fuck Blizzard. But do you gotta name the devs personally, guys?
Holiday. So, did you notice the one thing that's missing in this entire update? It is the character updates, as Bloomberg put it. Yes, I'm not sure what conversation that came out of, but it doesn't seem like Riot is planning any big overhauls for champions specifically. Yes, we know that some champions really need it, but I'm gonna assume there's gonna be the standard ASUs still going. But at the same time, they never mentioned any specific champions anywhere. But outside of that, that's pretty much it for the massive update heading to League in the kinda distant future, I guess. And from all the reactions I've gathered, it seems like everyone is happy. I still wonder just how drastic the changes in 2026 will be, because Riot will need to start setting things up for 2027 if the updates are really that big. And yeah, I'm still curious to see just how well the client will actually work out. Because now, Riot can just put all the minigames directly in the client. Up until now, you are technically running the minigames on a website that's just open in the client. Although, the talk about the client also brings up one question, and once you start thinking about that one, the horror starts creeping in. Because after we get a brand new in-engine client for League of Legends, what's gonna happen to TFT?
Let her have its own client. TFT is a separate goddamn game anyways. Who gives a shit? It's like me being mad that Retail WoW's on a separate client. I got the Battle.net app, I launched Retail. I close the Battle.net app, I launch Classic. It ain't that big a deal, all things considered. Really? A 20-second outro, Necrit? I don't blame you, buddy. Get your W's. But all things considered, good video, good update. I can't wait to dive into League of Legends 2. I can't wait to be called very creative, very interesting, very unique slurs all over again, guys. League got me like nothing else got me, because I at least know that somebody's gonna be passionate about me, even if it's from the bottom of the hatred in their heart.